There are moments in history that feel unfinished, not because we don't know what happened, but because the record stopped speaking. No letters, no signals, no explanations, just silence. Tonight we explore one of those moments. A night when communication failed, when cities went dark, when messages stopped arriving, and when history paused. Historians rely on continuity, dates, logs, correspondence, but occasionally entire spans of time go quiet. Ships vanish from logs, messages stop mid-sentence. Archives show gaps where details should exist. These are not isolated events. They appear across centuries, and they all share one thing in common. No one was prepared for the silence. By the late 1800s, the world believed it had conquered distance. Telegraphs crossed continents, undersea cables linked empires. Ships communicated faster than ever before. Civilization believed itself connected. Then, the signals failed. Entire regions reported dead telegraph lines, unanswered transmissions operators hearing only static for hours, sometimes days. Telegraph operators wrote about it years later. They described keys that worked but received nothing, lines that showed no damage signals that vanished mid-transmission. Some claimed they could still send power, but nothing returned. Others reported something stranger, a brief moment of silence, followed by overwhelming relief when communication resumed. No explanation was ever issued. At sea, silence was deadly. Ships relied on signals for navigation, warnings, coordination. Yet records show multiple nights where ships logged no response across wide areas. Distress calls were never received. Entire fleets operated blind. Some vessels vanished. Others returned with logs that simply read, "Communications unavailable." No calls listed. Silence does something to the human mind. When information stops flowing, fear spreads faster than facts, imagination fills gaps. Order weakened, cities reported unease, ports delayed departures. People sensed something was wrong without knowing what. History often records events. It rarely records feelings, but silence leaves an impression. Some point to solar storms, others to atmospheric interference, yet many documented silences don't match known patterns, affect regions unevenly, leave no physical damage, and some occurred before technology was widespread, when silence meant missing messengers, not broken wires. Different eras, same result. Perhaps the most unsettling part is not the silence itself, it's what never came back. Messages that were sent, but never received. Logs that reference prior events, now missing. Coordinated actions that were clearly planned, but never explained. History moves on, but some moments remain suspended. Silence doesn't erase history, it reshapes it. What isn't recorded forces us to imagine, and imagination can be heavier than fact. Some nights the world stopped talking, and we're still listening for what was never said. Silence doesn't end when sound returns. Some places remember it. Ports where ships once waited longer than they should have. Signal stations where operators refused night shifts years later. Rooms where no equipment failed, yet no messages arrived. Long after communication resumed, these places carried a weight. Not damage, not fear, memory. In personal journals, never official reports, we find quiet admissions. I felt relieved when it ended. I don't know why. No one spoke for a long time afterward. No panic, no chaos. Just a shared understanding that something had passed through. and left. As technology improved, silence didn't disappear. It adapted. Faster systems, wider networks, same result. Moments where messages arrived out of order, responses, reference, transmissions, never log confirmations existed without requests. Time itself felt misaligned. History rarely records confusion, but confusion leaves patterns. Look closely at timelines. You'll notice something subtle. Major decisions often follow periods of missing detail. Wars declared after quiet weeks. Routes change without explanation. Policies enacted with no recorded debate, as if something occurred but wasn't written down. Silence doesn't just interrupt history, it redirects it. Some historians speak carefully. Off the record, they mention atmospheric anomalies without data, human perception under collective uncertainty, events too widespread to attribute, yet too brief to document, nothing concrete, nothing provable, but enough to remain cautious when records go quiet. Ancient cultures feared silence, not noise. Silence meant omens, transitions, thresholds, moments when the world changed direction. Perhaps modern society forgot that. We learned to fear alarms, not absence, but history suggests the absence matters more. No official statement ever explained these events. No global inquiry, no unified conclusion, just quiet acceptance, as if acknowledging the silence would give it weight. And some things are heavier when named. Silence doesn't vanish. It echoes, not in sound, but in consequence, in altered routes, in delayed decisions, in choices made cautiously without recorded reason. History moves forward, but not unchanged. Some moments don't announce themselves. They pass quietly, leaving behind no proof, only direction. The world once went silent, and whether we noticed or not, we followed what came next.